Hi all, Angie here. I know I commented that we would start with the Stamperia Roses and Lace next, but I'm still waiting on some lace to come in. I wanted to add some browns and maybe some green to it, but we'll see when the lace comes in if it's the correct color of green, whether or not we'll use it. Needless to say, I was anxious to get started, and since I had 4 packs of this Stamperia Blues, I thought I would do a practice album first. And so I came up with this album that I'm going to show you and that we're going to do the tutorial on. These are really beautiful papers. Stamperia doesn't make an ugly paper, so... oh, sorry. Let me get rid of this. Stamperia definitely doesn't make an ugly paper, so you can't go wrong no matter which pack you pick. So, this album measures, let's see, 7.5 width and 8.5 length. It has a 4-inch spine on it. I like to make wider spines on my albums because I want to be able to put pictures in them. Or whoever gets this will want to put pictures in it. Or like this one, you know, it might be for actual letters, and you'll see why as we get ready to go through this. You'll notice I themed my ribbons with kind of the burlap look, and you'll see that throughout the book. And I tried to stay with a cream color lace. So here we have this burlap look ribbon, a little burlap butterfly, lots of burlap flowers, but I also added in some of these little flowers from my stash. And those are by, K and Company, something like that. Couldn't tell you right now, I'll have to look it up. And then I was thinking about this album, to me, has so many letter looking things and canceled stamps that it reminded me of love letters. So I made sure the heart showed and put a little letter here. So let's go to the inside and take a look. Now the inside pages measure, they should be about 7.5 by 8. Oh, sorry, not 7.5, 6.5, but they're actually measuring out to 7/16 by 7 15/16. Now the one thing I wanted to do here is I put my hinge in and I really made it too small. So we'll correct that in the tutorial. So it won't be as tight as this one is. It will be definitely secure, but it won't be as, the pages will flip over better, open and close better. I also left space here on the spine, or on the inside of the book, for these tabs. I knew I wanted to have tabs on each of these photo mats that tuck inside of the pages. So let's start here with page 1. Along with this collection, I got this pack of ribbons from, this one is from Hobby Lobby. Michael's also had them. Hobby Lobby had them on at 50% off this week. So I went and got another pack for our next album. We're not going to use all of these, but I did choose out of it 4 different ones, or 3 it looks like. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I chose 3 of the designs out of this and used it throughout the album. So we'll go over the ones we're going to use when we start the tutorial. So this is a Tim Holtz little ephemera. I thought it looked really nice and kind of added to the canceled stamp and envelope look. So here's a photo mat. I've added some ribbons to it. And on the inside, I'm missing a photo mat. Somewhere in this book there's another photo mat that belongs here. I have two of them that belong in there. So I've added this little envelope. I've added a pocket to it. And inside of this envelope is a photo mat. Or you can write on it if you like. And then here we have 4 little photo mats. I have taken these pages and tried to give it a rusty look for certain areas. So over here we have a pull-out. I used a Sizzix punch or Sizzix die on this to get this shape. I was going to do that throughout the album, and then I canceled that idea because I didn't want to have it too frilly with the burlap that I'm using in it. And underneath this photo mat I used the glassine papers. Now, they're a little difficult to work with under here, but I still kind of like the look of it. I think it looks quite unique. And anyway, I loved it. So right here, I did a cutout of one of the pages. And you can see it's got a lot of letter look here. And then I put some rivets in to hold that so it wouldn't tear. And then on the inside, we have some photo mats, a small one and a large one. You could probably put 2 photos on this one. And then up here, we have another pocket. Just a little tuck pocket. And this is held with a magnet. Now again, we have our little hidden pages here. I don't know, it doesn't want to go in right. Figures on camera, huh? So anyway, we move on to page 2. Here I used some string. Now I did not use the one that came in the ribbon pack. I actually had a ball of twine, and I liked this because it was a little bit thinner. Not quite as large as this one. This one in here is quite large. And I like the thinner possibilities of this one. It has thinner areas and thicker areas. So I used this one throughout. And I just made a little tie here to go with this. Kind of works as a little belly band if you like. And then inside of these pages, we have some flips and folds. Here I used a border I had left over, and then I had another piece that still had the other part of the stamp in it. So I went ahead and cut that out and put them together. So we have a little tuck pocket. Here we have a nice big photo mat. And over on this side, another large photo mat. Now this page has just a little secret in it, and I just love this. It's a little flip corner, and inside, just some little notes. Cutouts from the Stamperia collection. And then these are some more Tim Holtz ephemeras. That closes with the magnet. And then back over to this page. Let me close that down so it doesn't whack us. I have made another cutout here. And of course I've distressed here and there. I wanted it to look old, and I've put in one of the tags. And then this flips open. You have another photo mat and another photo mat here. There we go. Now you can see it. So let's close that page and go on to page 3. So on page 3, when we make the album, we're going to do this. I did a 1/4 inch here to make this little spine in there, or 1/8 of an inch. We're going to do a 1/4 of an inch in the tutorial, or we'll have to flatten something on the inside, because you see the pages got too thick here. See that? It's because of what I put inside, and you'll see that. But we'll fix that in the tutorial as well. So I made a magnetic closure here. These I just glued down to continue to look like hinges. And then on the inside, we have a little tuck photo mat. And on this side, another tuck photo mat. Now throughout the album, I have little places of red placed in here. I felt that it needed just a pop of color, and that's why I've added the little bits of red here and there. Over here, we have 2 little flip pockets. And inside, we have some little notes. And again, I've made my own little round tabbies here so we can make the closure. And also have continued to use the burlap look. These also provide just a small belly band here on the envelope. So let's undo this one so you can see that it also has a little tiny photo mat in it. And there's that belly band. It's the width of that section of the envelope. And then this flips open. More space for pictures. A little 5x7 mat or 4x6 mat with a little tuck spot for it. And then in here we have a large photo mat. And I left it black on the back. With Stamperia's having so few papers in their packs, you have to really consider whether or not you need to cover the back. Covering the back of everything would mean that I would have to use a 3rd pack on it. And on this album, I challenged myself to stick to the 2 packs. So I did have to use a lot of my extras to create the different areas on the pages. And it also kept me to a certain size of photo mats by doing that. So that is page 3. These are held down with a magnet. There's another, whoops. You can see why that does not work that well. That'll get fixed in the tutorial. And of course we have our hidden photo mat there. Now this page, I took lots of little pieces. I distressed the edges with the Vintage Photo by Tim Holtz. Not sure where I put it. Oh, yes I am. I put it where my cat couldn't get it. So I use the Vintage Photo Distressing Ink by Tim Holtz. I use that throughout the album. And I distressed some papers. Now this is a paper that doesn't come in the pack. It's a little vellum see-through paper that had writing on it. So I tore up pieces of that and stuck it a little bit here and there just as a texture. So if you have something similar to that, or a glassine paper, anything like that, we'll distress it and you can put it under there. So I wanted this to look like a stack of letters and mail. Kind of goes with the envelope theme. And I put on a tie here. And this idea I got from a junk journal person. Her name is Gayle Agostinelli, I believe. Sorry, Gayle, if I messed up your name. She made this trifold the other day, and I fell in love with it. So I decided immediately that it was going to go in this album. But the envelope just unfolds magically. And you end up with these wonderful pockets and areas, and you can put pictures on these if you like. But inside, I've made some little mail pouches. This one is an envelope that I got from, Hobby Lobby or Michael's. They are this size. They're just little 3x3 envelopes. So I use those throughout. And inside, I put a little blank picture photo mat where you could write on it. It'd be a good place to hide your journaling if you like to hide it. Then up here we have one of the cutouts, and you flip it over and it's a photo mat. And then clear up here, last envelope pocket, is another cutout. Definitely distress the edges. And then a photo mat's on the other side. Oops. And then this ties back up, of course. So this used 3 envelopes. And I'll give you the sizes when we get ready for the tutorial. And then we have here, these were some of the cut aparts, and they look like envelopes with the tops open. So I took the, there's one of my photo mats. So I took one of the, I took the edges and I folded them over and glued them down. And then you can tuck a photo in them. And then I put just a little rivet in there and put some string in it. I didn't want it to get lost down inside the pocket. And this was another one just like it. So it just kind of lifts up and you can slide your photo under. I knew those photo mats had to be in here somewhere, and there they are. 2 little photo mats. They go in the front envelope. Let me set them up there. So now we go over to page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on page 5. It has this little belly band-like closure. It has 2 magnets in it to hold it. And then we have these. Here again, I use this. I did have to go back and make a second one and paste 2 of them together to make this thicker because it was not thick enough. So here's a little place to put photos if you like. Inside, I have these little tuck spots. This one is just a little mat, little tag. And over here, another little tag. I think this is the place to start. I think the sunshine's coming in. Look at this. We've had a couple of days of rain here in Oregon. So then I have two more photo mats up here. Just blank on the back side. I ran out of the gray paper, and I'll show you what gray paper I used. And I'll tell you what I have ordered for this next one, or maybe not. I might use kind of a purple gray on the next one. So this is a belly band. This ribbon here was bought at, let me find it. This ribbon here I found at the dollar store. So it was a good deal. It does have wire in it. You'll need to have a little pair of tweezers on hand or something to pull these little wires out, because we don't want the wire to be left in our album. And I also found this at the dollar store, and it's the lace that I used throughout, here and there. So these little photo mats continue to open on both sides. Oh, there we go. Ah, isn't that sun beautiful? Oh my gosh. And then we close it down with the band. This page here, I am using Recollections frames. I don't know if I have enough left to use them again, but I hope I do. Might have to use white ones in the next one, which means we might have to tea dye it or something to get it down to the right color. Anyway, we'll figure that out as we get there. These are behind plastic. Not plastic, but well, I guess it is kind of a plastic. It's PVC free and archival safe for photos. So we can place a little photo here, and if you want, you can place the second one on the back. And this one also pulls out. And here we have this page. This I have put in a little journal right on the inside. And whoever gets this or purchases this one will be for sale, can put their own ephemera on the inside. And then right here in this tuck spot, this one is a little coin envelope. Also purchased at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, one of those two. And inside I have another little writing space or just a little picture. You can see here I have used two different colors because I was running out of paper. But I didn't want to have to use a third pack on it. That closes with magnets on a couple of different places there. Here's our last page, our second to the last page. Now this one, I have made a large photo mat. The little hairs from the burlap is getting on it. So it has a nice big photo mat with a frame. I thought that turned out really nice. However, I do think in the tutorial we will use probably tape up here so it doesn't get that kind of crinkle look there. And again, I've stuck with using the kind of burlap-like look. And this is this wide lace, but I cut the brown off of it. And here again, I've added more of the burlap look, the ribbon, and cut it and added some flowers. And in this pocket, another photo mat. Now these tabs that I'm using throughout this book, let me see here. These tabs, I try to use everything. These tabs are created with these little squares. I cut them out, distressed them all the way around, folded them in half, cut the top corners, or cut the corners on the fold, and then distressed those, then cut them in half, and then they became my tags for this album. It works really good to use these as your tabs throughout your albums. They're the perfect size. They cut out great with your, I have a, oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. My cutting mat over there. Anyway, a Fiskars. There we go. It's a Fiskars cutting mat over there. And a cutting machine. So anyway, these cut out very nicely with that. It's quick. I don't worry about the ones behind, although you can see that that half would make a great tab. Let's see if that'll stay back there. So, so let's close this one up and go to our very last page. And here on this page we have a closure made with the, this is the same stuff. I distressed this with glue. I added some of the brown paper from the pack to give it a rusty looking hinge. And of course this is, I don't know what happened there. This is, I'm running blank today, guys. I'm really sorry. Anyway, we have our photo mats here. And you can place a photo here. I left them blank on the back, otherwise they just get way too thick. And this is also, this waterfall. It's a waterfall. I got it. This waterfall is also a belly band. Oh my goodness, I'm losing it today. Under the belly band is 2 more of these envelopes. I had those left over and decided I must use them. Again, the picture will just tuck underneath. So there we go, is that. And our last page, again, I added some of the red just to give it a pop of color every now and then. This is another envelope I made with the envelope cutter. And this is a little tuck spot. And on the inside, I just cut up some of my leftover paper. This is a tag from, I believe, the front. Yes. From the front of the paper pack. I cut it all out. So just a note on that. When I use this paper, you're going to see that I cut all of this out. I cut out the tag especially. I also cut out the bluebird on one of them. And I use everything. I use these little strips down here below the words Stamperia. And I use everything except for where it has the writing and paper size and stuff like that. I cut out little envelopes out of here. So plan on using up your Stamperia paper for this if you're going to go with the blues with me. So anyway, we've got some little photo mats. And on the inside again, this is where I started having to paste things together. So I almost made it. Now I did waste some paper doing some things. So it could be when we make this, we'll just have these as leftovers. But I love this look. It's, you know, kind of a patchwork, and I just think that goes with the whole theme of being distressed and stuff. And on the other side, a cream color photo mat. So, I hope you'll join me for the tutorial. I will give the paper sizes as we go. I don't do pre-measure and stuff like that. I measure as we go. I would give the measurements, however, we each have different rulers, even though they're all supposed to be the same. We each have different ones we're using. There might be old ones or new ones or vintage ones. And they may measure just slightly different. So I will give the measurements as we go. I will use this Victor Easy Read Ruler. I love it. I do recommend it. If you, like me, don't remember all your little inches, it's okay. We do need math. So if you're listening out there, kids, we need math. Actually, I like math, but it's just simpler when doing an album not to give all the pre-measurements, because you may cut it slightly different than I do, or your cutting machine may slice a little different. So it will be simple. I make books simply, and even if they look complicated here and there, it's simple, it's fun, and I hope you'll join me. We'll have a blast. And I look forward to getting my videos all ready and then publishing 3 days a week. I will probably publish on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But that's not a given. Things can change. We have 9 grandchildren. So it could be I have a babysitting weekend or something, which I wouldn't mind. It just means you might have to see a YouTube on kid crafting. So, but we'd make it lots of fun. And you and your grandkids, if you have them, or you and your children, could join us too when we do those. My granddaughter has it all figured out. The title is going to be Grandma and Me Crafting. So, anyway, those are to come. We haven't done one yet. I want to get this one under my belt first, and then we'll move on to introducing grandkids into YouTube and just having little bits and pieces once in a while of Grandma and Me crafting. So I hope you'll join me. I will put all the paper I'm using down below, and I did want to show you that the gray I used was from this pack. It's a Recollections. I got it at Michael's, and it was a hot buy. It was like 50% off or 75% off. I think it paid $4.99 for the pack. So anyway, I used all of the gray that came in that color. I believe there's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 of each one. So on this upcoming album, I may use this one, but I really thought I might go with this to add a little pop of color into that blue. Look at this. It's beautiful. Goes great with the paper. So we will be doing that. And then the white paper I used, I get from Country Craft Creations. It's on artisan cardstock. I absolutely love this, and I have gone completely over to using this. I still have some black paper that I'm trying to use up for base pages. But this stuff I absolutely love. It's a wonderful paper, and I can't thank them enough for carrying it. It's really, really wonderful. And then, of course, we will use chipboard to make our spine. So did I show you enough of the paper, or would you like to see it? Let's see. Let's move the book. So, Stamperia Blues. What are the blues all about? This is it. Let me tell you, this is beautiful paper. And like I said, we'll use it all. Don't throw away your cover. Don't throw away the back. The back has all those beautiful tabs on it. So you see here, you know what? I'm going to have to close that curtain, aren't I? There, we'll put this up. You see here all the envelopes, canceled stamps. I love it. Kind of a lacy look. This paper has a lot of texture look to it. It's flat, of course, but the texture in it is really remarkable. I absolutely love it. And I have to tell you, I'm not a person that will often choose blue, but this paper really, I fell in love with it. I'm moving over to here to close this curtain. There we go. Let's get that sunspots off of our paper. Let me hook back up my mic. Have it hooked to the bottom of my shirt. So let's see. Okay. Now one should be able to see the texture in this paper. It's absolutely stunning. It's kind of like a tablecloth over there, and lace. Has a lot of writing in it. And a lot of music. There is a lot of music through this. The other thing I love is this corrugated look. I think that is really fabulous. I mean, it looks 3D. And it looks 3D here, sitting on my table. Here's another music sheet. I like how the music goes this way and that way and upside down way and right side up. I love the staining look on this. That's why I had to go with the distressed look all the way through, because it just looked fabulous. Anyway, because the music goes all different ways, directions, it makes it easy to place on your paper, in your album. This paper is really fabulous. I mean, look at this. It looks like it's got actual paint on it. Oh my gosh. Just, it's really something. And kind of a burlap in the back, like a white burlap. It just looks like it makes you want to get out your paints, doesn't it? Then we have this page, and you can see here's some of the things I ended up cutting out to make little tuck spots or places like that. Now you'll notice I did not use a lot of these. I needed the paper. So if you buy a 3rd pack of this, if you have three to start with, you'll be able to cut out more tags. I set myself on a limit of using only 2 packs of paper for it. And that's why I added the gray, was so that I could get a little more dimension and color into it. This is the brown I used to make my little tab closures. I used this. I used a distressing ink on it. I feel like it gave it kind of a rusty metal look. I like that. So I do use quite a bit of this and that. When I make a cut and have extra, I use it. And then the string. This one is very interesting. Look at the polka dots on that. Oh, I love polka dots. When I was a kid, I had a stuffed dog, and it had beautiful black and white polka dots. Unfortunately, I gave my polka dot dog a bath, and he molded, and I had to throw him away. That's a very sad story. Oh, I've never found another dog like him, and I have looked. It's funny what you remember. Here I am this age, remembering my little polka dot doggy. Anyway, this paper is really stunning. It's just, it's heart-catching. Over here we have the map and the strings and the more canceled stamps. Kind of a metal look back here almost. That's why I wanted to bring in some rusty metals. Here we have our really distressed blues and whites and grays. And here's the envelopes I used. I cut all of these out, saved all this brown background paper until I was completely done, so that I would have tabs and different areas to use it to give it the rusty metal look. Now this is really interesting. This texture reminds me of the old rugs that you would make out of, a really stretchy fabric. Have you ever made those pot holders that cross hatch? You just make them on the little plastic thing. That reminds me of those. Very pretty. And here we have some more music placed over a white burlap look. Feels like 2 sheets. Their paper's so thick, it feels wonderful. So here we have some more. This one has a lot of crackle in it. A lot of kind of like a damask look in the background almost. And here, just a beautiful blue. It's kind of a blue purple. And that's why I think that purple paper, the purple gray, will go really well with the next album I make. I have to make it slightly different in color here and there, because otherwise I'll get bored with it. My brain is always jumping to the next project as fast as it can, even before I finish something. So I have to accommodate it in some way. Okay, so now this one is my favorite. Look at this. Isn't that luscious? It's like lace. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love it. Oh, it is fabulous. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm anxious to get going on it. That is for sure. Always love doing it. Making a better album the next time. Once you start making things, it only gets better. So, that was my note. I have to have a starting note, otherwise I forget what I'm telling you. Or what I need to tell you. I'll just start talking. Here is the envelopes. Makes a great way to do a cutout for a page. More of the real beautiful blue. This reminds me of the color of my husband's eyes. They're a real beautiful blue. And then we have this really textured paper again. It looks like it's embossed throughout here. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard to see with my light there, but it looks embossed. It's not, of course, it's flat. But it's sure beautiful. And I love the script that's throughout. And our last page, a very distressed and crackled page. Wonderful. Look at that. And like I said, save your last page. Here's some good borders on each side. I even cut this little piece off up here because I needed it on the inside of the book. Let me show you. Where did I put it? Right here. There's the top of the S and the T right there. But you can't tell that by looking at it. But I needed it for that little band of color right there. So I just sliced it off as close to the S and T as I could, and then I used it. So anyway, that is the end of my Today show. Well, it's not a Today show. That's the end of my show. I hope you'll join me for the tutorial. I'm looking forward to it. Have a good day. Bye.